All right, guys. Today we're going to talk about proportions using cross products and scale factors. So this is really similar to our equivalent ratios. It's using kind of the same ideas as our equivalent ratios. Okay, so remember that when we draw the arrows showing the relationship, the arrow is always going to point towards the variable, so towards. Okay, so it's always going to point towards the variable. So if you notice in this first one, it's pointing to the x. Okay, so the first way we have is we have what's called a side-to-side method. So you're finding the relationship between in between them. Okay, this is similar to what we did with all of the expressions. So we're finding a relationship. So between 3 and 6, how can I get from 3 to 6? And remember, I want to either multiply or divide. Well, I know that 3 times 2 is 6. Now, if I multiply times 2 on the bottom, that means I have to do the same thing on the top and multiply by 2. So 5 times 2 is 10. So x is equal to 10. Okay. The next way we can do it is we can find the relationship within our proportion. So we can go top to bottom or bottom to top, either way. So here we have a relationship between 2 and 12. So 2 times 6 is 12, and 7 times 6 is going to give us our x, and 7 times 6 is 42. So x is equal to 42. Okay. The last way we have, and it's one that we're not going to use very often, but we still need to know how to do it, is what is called cross products. So when you can't find any relationship, you have to use the cross products. So when we use our cross products, we're going to multiply the two that are across from each other, and we're going to divide this one that's left over. So we're going to multiply 15 times 8. So 5 times 8 is 40. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 2, or plus 4 is 12, so 120. And then we're going to divide by 20. So we're going to take 120, divide by 20. Okay, you can take a 0 off of each of these, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. Okay, so our answer is that x is equal to 6. So again, I multiplied the two that were straight across, and then I divided this one that was left over. Okay, when we're doing that, we're really doing algebra, but it's easier to think about it as just multiplying and dividing. Okay, so what you guys are going to do is you guys are going to go to the next slide. Okay, on the next slide, we are going to do some of these practice problems. So I will do A of each of these right now with you, and then you guys will do B and C on your own. Okay, so if we look at A, I see a relationship between 6 and 24. So 6 times what? 6 times 4 is 24. So that means I also need to multiply by 4 on the top. And 2 times 4 is 8. So x is equal to 8. Okay. On the next one, the middle row, A, there is a relationship going up and down, so between 3 and 12, so our arrow is going to point towards our y. So to get from 3 to 12, you multiply by 4 again. So 2 times 4, y is 8 again. That's just a coincidence. Okay. And the last one down here, we have, none of those numbers are nice to each other, so what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to multiply across and then divide. So 9 times 10 is 90. And we're going to have to take 90 and divide it by the number that's left over, which is 6. So 90 divided by 6. So 6 fits into 9 once, And take away 6. There's 3 left over and bring down the 0. And 6 fits into 35 times. And 5 times 6 is 30. So we're done. So the answer is that x equals 15. So what I want you to do is I want you to go through the rest of these on your own. And then I want you to come back and check your answer. So go ahead and pause the video and then come back to check your answers. All right, so you should be checking your answers. Notice on part C for the first line and the middle line, you did have to divide. So instead of multiplying, we divided by 3 and divided by 5 to get there. And then the bottom two, my work is over on the right in each of the corresponding colors for you guys to check. So once you check your work, go ahead and go to Schoology and complete your assignment for today.